Okay, my North TJ-066 Mill City 500 gram roaster has been making some noise when I turn my airflow on. So when I operate this knob down here, and I'll show you. I'm going to go ahead and cycle the unit on. When I turn my airflow on, there we go. It operates this fan, and what this does is it literally pulls air from the drum up through the exhaust system here, through a tube into here, and then into the vortex, the collector. So it involves really just these two screws, one here, one up here, and then these four bolts have to come off. The ones that are on the square face, they have to come off. So there's basically a Phillips head like these. On the other side, there's a Phillips head here, and then there's this nut. Okay, so I've noticed that on some of these we may be able to use, and this is a 5/16 wrench. I heard that there's metric, that would be a number 8, but if you just apply pressure onto the back of the screw and you turn this, that loosens it up enough where you can take the nut and the washer off. I got 2 of the 4 here. Right, and I've got one more that's hidden behind here. It's kind of hard to get at. Let me see if I can loosen this with just some finger pressure, and I am going to be able to. Tightening it up might be a little more difficult, so you just want to have, you may need to use this kind of a system here just to kind of hold this back, hold that screw in place. It's probably easier to do it from this side. Hold the screw in place like that, and then just unthread the nut, and that's just about off, ready to fall off. So there we go. Okay, next are these 2 screws, but I'm going to trim. I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to shove it between here and pull it. Yeah, there's definitely some sort of adhesive or something that's in there, and so I'm just going to push that. Okay, and then I'm going to loosen these two, take these 2 screws out of the back tube, and then this should come right off. So this is going to take us all of just a couple minutes to take off. You may not have noticed it, but I did unplug the roaster. So the roaster is unplugged, and there aren't any safety issues. There's no concerns. So, all right, I'm just going to take this. Yep, you can see it move and slide back, and this is the entire unit. So I want to make sure we get a good view of this. You can see what's inside. Mine doesn't look like, the fan itself doesn't have too much chaff on it at all, but there's quite a bit of chaff that's built up, at least on this end, and now you can see it from this direction on the fan. There's definitely more chaff. Okay, so this is the vacuum that I'm using. It's just something I got at Lowe's for some of my hobby stuff, and it's pretty powerful and works great for cleaning out the chaff in the back here. But I went ahead and cleaned everything up, you can see now that it looks a lot better. Looks a little different. It wasn't real bad, but it definitely needed to be cleaned out. And this is going to go back together. And I went ahead and cleaned that out mostly. You know, it's pretty good. It's not clogged, it's not restricting. And this tube here is completely cleaned out. That had some coffee beans in it and had all kinds of chaff. And what I did was I actually took this vacuum tube, turned it on, and then shoved it all the way down like this. And so that did a wonderful job. All the way down, that shiny thing you see at the end is actually the exhaust chamber right here. So this thing. So yeah, we're in good shape. I'm going to go ahead and put this together. So the only question is now, you know, there was this sealant that was here before, and if I'm going to be doing this regularly, I'm not sure that I want to put more sealant on it and then you know, 6 months later, whatever, have to cut through it again. I'm tempted to go buy some simple heat, you know, heat resistant gasket material like at the auto shop, and just cut it, and then I can just reuse that over and over, or just cut new pieces as needed. But for now, I'm just going to put this back together as is and see how it performs. See if I have any leaks, and if I do, then I'll definitely get the gasket material. So let me get this started back together, and I'll give you a quick update here in a minute. So I'm going to take one of these short screws, pop it on, just to hold this in place. All right. Take one of the long screws, and I'm going to go ahead and get that started. Perfect. I'm going to get this in all the way, because there's no adjustment when it comes to tightening that. There's no movement back and forth this way, so getting these in makes sense, and you're done with it. And I'm going to go ahead and hold this bit with my hand. That might be good enough. Underside. Oh yeah, that worked. And I'll do the same thing up here. Okay, go ahead and plug this in. And we're gonna power on the roaster. See if we can hear any kind of a difference. Oh yeah. That sounds like new, right when I got it. Okay. That's it. That's great. I think that kind of showed everything that I did here, and hope that helps you guys as you do your maintenance on the roaster. There's some other maintenance that I'm going to be looking into, and I'll put videos together on that so you can see that as well. Just as far as safety is concerned, always be sure you're unplugging the roaster while you're working. You'll notice that I didn't unplug or deal with any of the wiring here. I set this right down in front of this unit so that I wasn't pulling on these wires, and it was completely unplugged, so you should be safe. Be careful, the blades in here are a little sharp. You don't just want to jam your hand in there, you could cut yourself. And that's it. Feel free to share your comments, let me know what you think. Thanks.